All right, forget everything you know about the lobsters. Today, we're talking about the one relationship in Friends that actually had the potential to break the matrix: Ross and Emily. Now, I know, most of you hate Emily. You think she was controlling, or you just wanted Ross and Rachel to happen. But hear me out. Ross had a vibe with Emily that he never had with Rachel. For a hot minute, Ross Geller wasn't the awkward, divorced museum guy. He was a straight-up romantic lead. But why did it fail? It wasn't just a slip of the tongue. It was a psychological war between Ross's need for a new life and his obsession with controlling the past. Let's get deep for a second. Ross is a paleontologist, right? Think about his job. He spends his life digging up fossils. Why? Because fossils don't move, they don't change. They've been exactly the same for millions of years. Ross's whole personality is built on control. He likes things static. He likes things predictable. But then comes Emily. She was the definition of change. She was from a different country, a different culture, and she didn't know the high school Ross. With her, he had a chance to delete his old, boring New York identity and install a brand new one. He was playing rugby, hitting up clubs, and living on the edge. He was trying to evolve. But here's the problem. A guy who loves fossils is secretly terrified of a future he can't predict. Everyone in the group has had dozens of partners, right? But Emily was the only one who actually shook the foundation of the group. Why? Because she didn't want to be friend number 7. She didn't care about the central perk hierarchy. When Ross was with Emily, he was building a private world. Usually, when Ross and Rachel dated, the whole group was in the room with them. But with Emily, it was just them, and that scared the hell out of the group. They saw Ross changing, and it acted like a bitter mirror. When one person in a friend group levels up or changes their entire life, it makes everyone else feel stuck. Remember when Phoebe got pregnant and Joey and Chandler suddenly felt like losers, so they decided to climb Mount Everest? That's exactly what Emily did to the group. She forced them to see that the golden era of sitting on that orange couch might actually end.
You know what? It seems like all of a sudden, so much is happening.
I know. Ross is getting married.
Phoebe's making people.
Everybody's doing stuff.
And we just sit here. Look, we have to do something, okay? Something huge.
We could climb Mount Everest.
Now, let's talk about that moment at the altar. I take the Rachel. Most people think it was just a mistake, but if we look at it through a Freudian lens, it was a classic Freudian slip. Ross's subconscious was screaming. Think about it. The train was moving too fast. Emily was moving to New York. The marriage was happening, and Ross was about to officially become this new version of himself. But the old Ross, the one who's comfortable in his misery and his 10-year-long crush, got scared. By saying Rachel's name, Ross pulled the emergency brake. It was self-sabotage. He blew up his marriage because it was safer to be the guy who loves Rachel than to be the man who has to build a brand new life with Emily. He chose the fossil over the living, breathing future.
I, Ross, take thee, Emily. Take thee, Rachel. Emily.
This change in Ross was so intense that it even pushed Rachel into a frenzy. When she saw Ross actually moving on and becoming someone else, she panicked and started lunging at Joshua, trying to force a marriage that didn't exist. This just proves that Emily was a chemical reaction for the whole group. She was the outsider who showed them that their little bubble was fragile. She was the only person who ever challenged the status quo, and that's why the fans and the characters had to turn her into the villain.
I do!
I gotta go.
So did Ross lose? In a way, yeah. With Emily, he could have been an adventurer. He could have been a man who wasn't defined by his high school traumas. But in the end, his need for control and his attachment to his past won. He went back to the safety of the group, back to the safety of Rachel, and back to being the Ross we know. What do you think? Was the Rachel slip a mistake, or was Ross just too scared to leave his fossilized life behind? Drop a comment below and let's get into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite sitcoms.